looking up at Holmes drug case?
Yes, ma'am.
Let me tell you the secret.
Thank you. Court is in session and call number 330-5004. Case is style of state of Texas versus Bradley Charles Gifford. Mr. Gifford, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Mr. Gifford?
Good.
That's good. Mr. Gifford, you're here represented by your attorney. Well, your attorney of record is Mr. Dustin Galmore.
Yes, sir.
However, we have here Mr. Jared Gilthorpe, who is standing in for Mr. Galmore. Does he have your permission to stand in for Mr. Galmore?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Gifford, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Gifford, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Gifford, you may put your hand down. Mr. Gilthorpe, how are you doing? That's good. Now, Mr. Gifford, I have before me a document that is titled Information. And in this document, it alleges that on or about May 20 of 2021, while you are operating a motor vehicle in a public place in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed to Class A misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated with an alcohol concentration level of 0.15 or more. Mr. Gifford, do you understand what you have been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Gifford, how do you plead guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
Now, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Gifford, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. Mr. Gifford, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of the same document, there are a set of initials on a line next to a box that's check guilty. Are these your initials?
Yes, sir.
On the next document, well, on the same document, the next page, above the line that's titled defendant, there's a signature. Is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Gifford, on the next document, which is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Is this your signature above the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
There are two boxes that are checked at the top of this document. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargaining case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
The second box states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Gifford, I also have before me a document on paper that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Is this your signature above the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Gifford, prior to signing and initialing all of these documents that I've just mentioned, did your attorney, Mr. Gilthorpe, go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. State, you like to offer State's 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections?
No objection.
No objections. State's Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Gilthorpe, you've advised and counsel Mr. Gifford, is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No objection.
Mr. Gifford, your attorney, Mr. Gilthorpe, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Gifford, you've also been advised and counseled by your attorney of record, Mr. Gilmore. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided fully effective and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Gifford, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I'll also find that your plea of guilty and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do.
And what is that agreement?
20 days jail
Okay,
to
Mr.
begin today, not later than 6 p.m.
That's correct.
Does he have a, affidavit NGC in the file? Okay,
No, Judge, he's not.
okay. Mr. Gifford, the state is offering that you serve 20 days in the Jefferson County Jail. You will be given credit for any time that you are entitled to get by law. The court cost in this case is $452. Will you be able to pay the $452?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, Mr. Gifford, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Gifford, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Gifford, please stand on the X next to your attorney. You will follow the directions of our court clerk. Once you finish following her directions, you'll be free to go, and you'll have until you have to turn yourself in today at or before 6 p.m.
Yes, sir.
at the Jefferson County Jail.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Just put your right thumb in the blue square. You need to bring that with you when you go to check in, or they won't let you in, you'll have a problem. So make sure you keep that.
Okay, we're in session in cause numbers 322358 and cause number 325-966. Both cases are style of state of Texas versus Alfonso Vasquez. Mr. Vasquez, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
How are you doing, Mr. Vasquez?
I'm all right. Making a little sick, but I'm all right.
You say you're a little sick.
Yes, sir. I just got stuff up now. It's a little cold.
Okay, have you been to the hospital?
Sorry.
You been to the hospital?
No, sorry.
Okay, well, we need to just.
We're just
To
waiting
assist
on our
this morning.
videos. We have all our written discovery, but
Okay, let's do this here. The court. Let's see, James.
I think street drive.
Yes, you may. Okay, the court is in session and cause number,
Have a good day.
air handshake. Okay, well,
Have a good day.
the court is in session and cause number 330-654. Case of style of state of Texas versus Belinda Jean James. Ms. James is appearing via Zoom. Ms. James, you could take your mic off of mute.
Okay, I'm here now.
Okay, how you doing, Ms. James?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking, Ms. James. You're here represented by your attorney, Mr. Jared Gilthorpe, who is present in court. Mr. Gilthorpe, what is your announcement in Ms. James' case?
Judge, we have all of our written discovery. We're waiting on our video.
Video, okay.
And then after that, I believe we'll resolve it.
How much time do you need?
I would just, a regular reset, hopefully we'll have our video by then.
Given,
The reset is like 228, is that okay?
That's fine.
okay, it's been reset till February 28th of 2022. Ms. James, your attorney will be given a reset of February 28th of 2022. Stay
Okay.
in contact with your attorney. This will conclude your case. Thanks for being patient with us, and you have a blessed day. You're free to go.
Thank you. You too.
Okay. And Mr. Gilthorpe, you get your reset. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go as well, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you.
And it will be in recess.